Quest for the Cup is brought to you by MasterCard. MasterCard, the official card of the NHL.
Amos, you're on Sports Radio 1130.
I hate Hunter.
You hate Hunter?
Oh, yeah, I hate him already.
Why?
Yeah, well, the way he was pushing Yzerman's face in the ice, I'm surprised Koser didn't go take care of business right then and there.
Let me ask you a question, Amos.
Yeah.
Would you like Dale Hunter to play for the Red Wings?
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it, but he's not on the Red Wings right now.
I know, you can hate him.
Right.
You gotta get a hate working. That's how fans get revved up.
They're not talking about anything other than the Stanley Cup here in Detroit. Now, last year, he's talking about Dale Hunter, but last year the most hated man on talk radio was you, partner.
Yeah, I was. Until I picked him to win, changed my mind. I think tonight, Ole, the goalie, has to be great. I think, as I said, he's got to win the Conn Smythe for this team to have a chance of winning. He wasn't great in Game 1. He was okay. Okay is not going to cut it when you're trying to take the Stanley Cup away from Detroit Red Wings. So if Kolzig's great, they have a chance. If he's average, I don't think they have a chance there.
Yeah, there's such a small margin for error for the Washington Capitals, whereas you compare them to the Detroit Red Wings. So it does put a lot of pressure on Olaf Kolzig. But, you know, Washington's 9-1 when they score the first goal. They need more than 17 shots on Chris Osgood if they're going to have any success at all.
Now, one of the things that Ron Wilson has talked about, now, it's a shame they don't take their hockey seriously in Detroit, but Ron Wilson has talked about keeping this team loose. Down one game, will they be loose in Game 2?
Yeah, I think they will be. I thought they were nervous in Game 1. I think that'll all be done now. Ronnie will have them prepared. They know they deserve to be in the Stanley Cup now. It was 2-1. They weren't embarrassed. Now they got to take the next step and think they can win. Not just happy being here. They got to think they can win. And now Ronnie's got to do a good job of coaching that situation.
Well, Ronnie's the kind of guy, when they're too loose, he tightens them up a little bit. When they're too tight, he loosens them up. He's got a great knack.
All right, they have to get a victory here if they hope to win the Stanley Cup. They will have 3 games at home. If it goes 7, but that 4th victory would have to come here. Game 2 coming up. Let's join Gary Thorne.
John, thank you very much. How important is Game 2 in the history of the Stanley Cup Finals? The team that goes up 2-0 wins the Cup 92% of the time. In Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, the defending champions came out flying. Detroit put the pressure on early, scoring 2 quick goals. But the underdog Capitals weren't here to surrender. They dropped in a key second-period goal, and despite never scoring another, they carried the momentum for nearly half the game. Now, who does the hunting in Game 2? Can the Capitals ratchet their effort up another click? Or will the veteran Red Wings, who won playing less than their best, take command of this series? We're going to find out. The Stanley Cup Finals on ESPN. Game 2, next. Welcome to the Joe, the home of the Octopi and the Detroit Red Wings, who are the Stanley Cup champions and looking to defend it. The Washington Capitals tonight looking for the opportunity to get this series even and take it back home. Hello, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. Welcome. Delighted to have you with us for the Washington Capitals. A good Game 1. And ironically, even though they lost that game 2-1, they came away feeling that maybe they can compete with this Detroit team. That's a lot more than a lot of people have been willing to give them, Bill. Expectations for Game 2.
Well, I think Washington realizes one thing about Game 1. They can say what they want about their great second half. They lost Game 1 in the first half of that tilt. And you had to expect that they would come out with a little bit of paralysis because 15 Capitals were playing in their first Stanley Cup Finals. They were outraced to the pucks. They were outnumbered on the pucks. They want to change that early in this game and really go after the Detroit Red Wings. Unlike the Red Wings, however, the Washington Capitals can't get by with everybody scoring. Detroit has everybody on board offensively. The Washington Capitals need their gunners gunning, and they've got to get production out of Peter Bondra, their 52-goal guy from the regular season, who didn't have a shot in Game 1. Now, the Red Wings are not intimidated by speed, but when Peter Bondra's got it cranked up, his speed can explosively get around the Detroit Red Wings, and his shot can score goals for the Washington Caps. The other guy that's got to get it going, Adam Oates. He admitted to me this morning that he was nervous for Game 1 and that he kind of left his legs in the hotel room. Adam Oates and Peter Bondra have to get it going on the power play. The Detroit Red Wings, to me, are a better 5-on-5 team Without Washington getting their power play going, they don't win this series.
It will not be easy for the Washington Capitals because they go up against 6 defensemen rotated by Scotty Bowman, who probably are as good a group of defensemen as exist in the National Hockey League, and Lidstrom and Murphy as good a twosome as goes.
Well, he is led by those two horses, and the advantage for Scotty Bowman is that Lidstrom and Murphy can play 30, 32, 33 minutes if they have to. So much so that look at this matchup from game 1. Against the Bondra line, the majority of shifts were played by Lidstrom and Murphy against them. Also against the Oates line, the majority of shifts, 11 of 19. Lidstrom and Murphy will be key. There is no way Ron Wilson's going to be able to get around those two. His big guns are just going to have to play through those two guys.
Ron Wilson, the coach of the Washington Capitals, said after game 1 he felt a feeling out process was going on. Brian Engblom.
Detroit and Washington only played each other twice during the regular season, Gary, and they don't have a real good feel for each other, I don't think. And that makes a big difference to them. I talked to Sergei Gonchar this morning, and he said that he was used to guys like Fedorov and Yzerman, and that's what he was really prepared for. But it was a guy like Slava Kozlov that gave him fits. He couldn't find him out there. That's because he hasn't played against him enough. For the Detroit Red Wings on the other side, they're used to the guys like Oates and Bondra. But it was Mikko Leishman that gave them the most problem. He's a great playmaker. So there's still lots of unknowns out there. It means a lot more goals can still be scored. Let's go downstairs to Darren Banks.
Well, thanks very much, Brian. The goaltending in this hockey game, very, very unique. You've got Olaf Kolzig for the Washington Capitals, who's 6'3 and a half, about 230 pounds right now. And you've got Chris Osgood, who's a much smaller goaltender. Osgood at 5'10", 178 pounds. The great thing about the game of hockey is that both of these hockey teams are focusing on the same thing. How many times do we hear it? Hey, he's a little guy, get traffic in front. Well, in this situation, Detroit saying, hey, he's a big guy, let's get traffic in front. And the Washington Capitals are saying the same thing that they said about Dominic Hasek. Let's try to get under the skin of Chris Osgood if we can and get him off his game. Gary Thorne?
Darren, they are rocking here at the Joe as Detroit's got a chance to go up 2-0 in this series. This house looking for one big thing, and that is that first goal. In the chase for the Stanley Cup, Adam Oates, third most points in playoff history without a ring. Steve Yzerman's got one, and he leads all scorers.
The Adrenaline Rush Hour, up next on TLC. Every night, TLC's the place that moves you. Gets your heart pounding, blood racing, and it's all real. TLC's Adrenaline Rush Hour. Lose yourself in it. Every night at 8. TLC. Adventures through your mind.
It's commonly known that new car dealers have access to some of the best used cars on the market. At Bill Page, we have something even more special. Our used car division is part of the two most respected makes on the market today, Honda and Toyota. We have one of the largest inventories of Hondas and Toyotas in the metro area, with value that exceeds any of the major superstores. Bill Page offers certified Honda and Toyotas that are backed by the Honda and Toyota factory. We sell great used cars in an easy, open atmosphere at Bill Page and invite you to visit us for your next...
My prize? Simple. To create a sports magazine readers love.
What's the scoop on Malone? Get me a piece on the best power forward in the game. And how about the Yankees? Do the Bronx Bombers have the AL East locked up? And what's shaking with Steve Yzerman? And Shin Music. Print it, baby!
It's the fastest, fiercest, and coolest game. Their blades of steel effortlessly slice the frozen stage. These modern warriors compete for the right to hoist North America's most prestigious trophy, Lord Stanley's Cup. With names engraved, immortality is assured, and men become boys once again. Games 3 and 4 can be seen right here on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
I'm Bob McKenzie. This is my brother Doug. How's it going, eh? And we're having a Molson with Hall of Famer Guy Lafleur, eh? Yeah, Lafleur. That's like a real hockey name. What's that mean, eh? Like the wolf or the lion, eh?
No, Lafleur means the flower.
Well, like a tough flower, eh? Like a dogwood or a snapdragon, eh? Roses have thorns, eh? They're tough. You're tough.
Speed Stick Ultimate and Oscar De La Hoya. Being a champ means being in great shape. Every opponent wants your title, and defending it takes hard work.
defending against sweat and odor takes hard work too. That's why they're Speed Stick Ultimate. It's antibacterial, so it kills germs that cause odor. And it helps keep you dry for when your job's done and it's time to hang out. Speed Stick Ultimate, the great defender.
ESPN's coverage of the Stanley Cup Championship is brought to you by Molson Ice, an adventure in every beer. By the new Dodge, it's about change. By Schick, the feel of smart design. And by BF Goodrich Tires, take control. Welcome back to Detroit. Hockey Town, all kinds of signs that this team is in the Stanley Cup Finals here in Detroit. None more so than yet another sellout here at the Joe. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and all of our crew ready to go here in Game 2. Exclusive coverage here on ESPN. Sergei Fedorov will be out. Doug Brown out on the line with him, along with Kozlov on the near side. That's how Scotty Bowman will go with it. Adam Oates will be taking the face-off. Olaf Kolzig, the big man in net at one end. Chris Osgood at the other. Settle back and welcome. We are underway here in Game 2. Kelly Johansson sends that one back into the middle. Played there and up into the zone for Bellows. Intercepted, sent back out by Lidstrom. Fedorov picks it up. Brown on the right side with him. Blue line fake. Fedorov moving in the dot. Takes the shot. Kolzig a save. Rebound came out. Fedorov used the D as a screen. Got a good chance early on. Bellows will clear that one out of the zone. Lidstrom back. Oates up on the check. Batted away to Brian Bellows. Bellows trying to dump it in. Couldn't get it through the D. Lidstrom. Detroit changing it up behind the play. Lidstrom saw it, so he feathered it in. Martin LaPointe gets the first hit on the far side. Osgood back in behind the net.
Boy, and one thing is consistent when you play against the Red Wings. 3 times now in this first shift, the Capitals have tried to move the puck through the middle. They all talked this morning about how there is no room in the middle, yet they still try to move it there.
Detroit forces that with that great forechecking job in that left wing walk. Great play by Anders Eriksson, and he's open on the left wing side. Shanahan off wing side, shot, backhanded wide. There you see that back of Brendan Shanahan coming into play again. He could not get that one turned up the way he would like to. He can't cork that back. Fetisov cleared it around, up and out of the zone. They will wave off the icing. Face down at the far end. First shot of the game has gone to the Red Wings, and our third line change completed here. Rifled the length of the ice that time by Nikolic. And it'll be touched up here in the 2-line pass. Face-off will come back the other way.
Well, ugly is going to have to be pretty for the Washington Capitals. Guys like Peter Bondra can't think pass first. They're going to have to think shoot first. 12 forwards in the lineup in Game 1 for Washington. Together, collectively, 11 shots on Chris Osgood. They're going to have to fire, drive, go for the ugly stuff. The problem against the Detroit Red Wings is even getting in the position to get the shot away. Washington couldn't even get to that shooting zone, that shooting area in Game 1, so that they could have guys driving for the rebounds. They're going to have to be far hungrier here in Game 2.
Same players going after it. Only one lineup change for either team. Kelly Miller of the Washington Capitals, who had played, is a scratch in this game tonight. He will come out of there, and it's cleared back the other way on the chase. Back into the zone, Jamie McCown. McCown takes it back in behind the net. McCown looking up around the far side, just batted out Draper, and it did come outside the zone, and that is going to be whistled on the offside. And Joey Kocur, who had a goal in Game 1, more noted for this kind of activity, will not back away.
And quite a bit more snarl to start this game than there was in Game 1. I mean, both these teams were kind of flat to start Game 1. Not here. The rivalry is official. Ron Wilson and his guys also talked today about how Detroit is the best back-checking team they have played against, the best back-checking team in the NHL. Scotty Bowman there signaling his guys to change quickly. But when guys like Igor Larionov, Darren McCarty, Sergei Fedorov back-check, it forces Washington to keep the puck moving forward quickly. Any diagonal pass is what gives the Red Wings a chance to back-check and to cut them off and to help the 3 guys that are just back there waiting for Washington. So straight ahead, quick, and in deep for Washington.
Draper won the face-off. He was 5 for 13 in face-off wins in the first game. Washington in face-offs won 34. Detroit won 40. Face-off played back in behind the net. No score. 2 minutes into this first period, and the Capitals still looking for their first shot. Kelly Johansson ran it out. Kocur was right there on his back, and it'll be jammed back the other way by Bob Rouse, who got it into the zone. Detroit starting this game. Their style right now is being played. Rouse will chase down, back in behind the net. Both teams changing up on the fly.
I don't think Washington has completed a clean pass yet, so that tells you that Detroit has got their defensive presence already.
Amazing, huh? Netminders obviously vital in the playoffs. Always you turn to the goaltenders, and they certainly have found one here. Kolzig, #1 in goals against and save percentage.
And yes, the Detroit Red Wings want to screen him, but still he takes up so much net because of his size. They're going to have to miss him. To miss him, they know they're going to have to get the puck airborne. Against Kolzig, it's not necessarily up under the crossbar. It's just over Kolzig's pads when they're down, so about a foot high. Chris Osgood, well, he's in the zone. Anybody that watched Game 6 of the Dallas series between Detroit and Dallas, the shutout that Chris Osgood pitched, knows how strong this kid is mentally. It's going to take a lot to get him off his game.
His numbers have only gotten better in each round. Tougher to score against. Washington has never beaten Chris Osgood. He is 5-0 against the Washington Capitals in his career, regular season, and playoff. Cleared back near side Fetisov. Washington desperately trying to create a forecheck here that pins Detroit in. They haven't done it early on here in this first period. Came back out through center. Detroit sends it back in. Would have been onside. Back to get it, Joe Ricky. Todd Krieger, by the way, is the man back in the Washington lineup with Kelly Miller out tonight. Krieger had been out 3 games with a groin pull. Fetisov up the boards. Batted away. Washington able to hold down low. Backhand. Osgood save. Rebound. Batted away. Loose. Osgood once. Twice knocked it away. And Craig Berube. Craig Berube in front of the net with a great chance. And Osgood came up big. Tomas Holmstrom. His pass partially blocked. Back out through center. It'll be chased down by Larry Murphy. What a chance for Berube on an intercept. Good forechecking job by the Caps. That time created the opportunity.
And that's their capital punishment line. They can't dish it out if they can get in there.
Here comes Larry Murphy. Murphy winds up, takes it. That one blocked into the corner. Fedorov cleared it back up. Kozlov there. Kozlov for Brown. Too far for him, and it rolls out the center. Larry Murphy has played more playoff games than anybody else on the ice. He and Usatiginen for Washington. They are the 2 veterans in playoff games for these 2 teams. Back into the zone, tipped in by Oates. Murphy right there to get it. Murphy got tied up, dropped back. Adam Oates forcing the play deep. Kozlov in the middle. Kozlov, they've got a 3-on-3. Kozlov looking, uses the screen, deflected up, off the far side boards to the point. Held in by Rouse down to Kozlov. Kozlov to Brown. Brown for Kozlov, locked back into the corner. Don Koharski, our referee tonight, broken stick. Play back near side. Gonchar's got it, and he'll be able to work it out of the zone. Sergei Gonchar worked it up. Both teams want to change it up, so they dropped it back. Detroit making their change. People out on the ice as Washington got it up. Larionov took his man out and then cleared out of the zone by Rouse. And they will wave off any icing here again. Chased down by Joe Ricky back in behind his own net. Hard play here early on with not a lot of whistles. 4.5 minutes into the period. 2-1 the shots in favor of Washington on those Berube chances. Gonchar rips that one over the glove side of Osgood. Gonchar's trying to get it going. He has not had a goal in 7 games. And he was a leading goal-scoring man during the season and in the early rounds, first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Dump back into the corner. Ricky back there. Martin Lapointe got a piece of him. It ended up going up and over the glass on the deflection.
Well, the best scoring chance in this hockey game generated by the Washington Capitals. Craig Berube beat his man, Slava Fetisov, out of the corner on this play. Got to the front. Watch Chris Osgood. Down to make the first save and up square to the shooter as quick as you could say, well, Stanley Cup.
The new Dodge wanted to take the sport utility concept to a higher level. Enter the new Durango. Its best-in-class power, cargo space, and seating for up to 8 raise the bar considerably. As do its strongest-in-class frame and its stable, longer, wider stance. Dodge Durango, a higher form of sport utility, from top to bottom. Durango, new ground for the new Dodge.
Good day, eh? As you can see, me and my brother has a taste for real adventure, eh? Oh no, we lost one! What an idiot! Fish here! Whoa! Here! No way! You're just trying to slow me down! I got it!
Welcome back to the full house here in Detroit. Delighted to have you with us here on ESPN. Face-off will come to the left side of Kolzig, who's making his 31st consecutive start for the Washington Capitals. That's a lot of work for the netminder. He obviously is it. Bill Ranford, the backup, not seen any play. Kolzig, the man getting the work and getting it done. 28 years old. Came out of nowhere, literally, He was supposed to be the backup goaltender in this Caps team this season. Not so. Face-off sitting in the circle, jammed away on the far side. Gonchar got a piece but couldn't control. Back on top to Murphy. Murphy, the wrist shot, that deflected right into the middle of Bondra. Was gloved down, Bondra will bring it. Bondra, their leading goal scorer, tied for first in the league. That one Gonchar gunned in. Gonchar tonight looking as though he's ready to take some chances. He's shooting the puck in. One thing that happened the other night in Game 1 is the Capitals did not take many long shots on Osgood, only 5 of them. He handled 4 easily, one he kind of juggled a bit. Tonight they're going to get in. Gonchar again from center, and it'll be held onto by Chris Osgood. Take a look at our Molson Ice league leaderboard here in ESPN. The most games played by a franchise without appearing in the finals. Los Angeles still number 1. The Capitals number 2. They are here now. And Pittsburgh, they are 3rd.
Some of the veteran players for the Caps that have played an awful long time to get here. Adam Oates is one of them. He had an ear infection that's kind of gotten a little better. He didn't have many legs, he said in Game 1. Asa Tikkanen, on the other hand, about every second year of his career, he's been able to get there. Dale Hunter, the guy that most of these Capitals admit they really want to win the Stanley Cup for. Yes, they want to win it for themselves, but as many of them say, they want to win it for Dale Hunter as they do for themselves. That tells you how loved Dale Hunter is on this squad.
18-year veteran. Saved by Osgood on the backhand chance. That one came from Todd Krieger up top. Krieger getting the opportunity in this shift. Kelly Johansson played it back as they get onside and sent back in by Mark Tedordi. He got leveled out there as he dumped it back into the zone. The Red Wings trying to come up the boards. Larionov blocked by Kelly Johansson to Fetisov. Played by Martin Lapointe on the far side. Away at center, loose over the red line. Kelly Johansson again around Larionov, not out of the zone. Has to take it in back to Kelly Johansson. Johansson looking back on the far side, held in by Anders Eriksson. No, it came outside the zone. Great protection by the rookie as they cleared the zone, but it ended up going up and over. We are scoreless, 14:06 left in the first.
You know, one of the things Chris Osgood is working on, he faced 17 shots in Game 1. It's getting a book on some of the Washington shooters. He only played 1 game this past season during the regular season against Washington, and his guys out in front limited Washington to 15 shots in that game. So he's faced a total of 32 shots, and you don't get a book on guys like Joey Junot, Peter Bondra. Sednik had 4 shots in Game 1, so he knows a little bit about his shot, but he wants to know the release. Sometimes the puck will move, sometimes it will flutter. There's Sednik. He led the Capitals with 4 shots in Game 1. So in spite of the fact that he had few shots, the one thing that still remains for Osgood is to try to get a book on a lot of these shooters.
Well, they are doing it. They had only 6 shots in the first period of Game 1. The Capitals did. They've already got 5 here in the first period of this game. And Detroit has only 1. Doug Brown save, and it got 2. That one from the blue line, and Ole the goalie came up with a save along the ice from Doug Brown.
Yep, Ole the goalie's got style. You can see his masks. Obviously one of the most decorated and nicely painted masks in the NHL, like so many of them. But that's not the only equipment that he has that's painted. On his right knee, he wears a knee brace that looks like this, and catch the theme on this. It is the gambling theme. That is a roulette wheel. There are bills, money bills there, dollar bills. There are dice. He said, why not? He said, I'm kind of a risk taker, and it's kind of a high-risk position. I'm a gambler sometimes playing goalie, so I went with the gambling theme, even on the knee brace.
Well, after all, this is the nation's capital, Washington, and there are a lot of risks that are taken there. Oates back out through center. Poke checked away by Kolzig. Brown sends it back into his own end and goes back to get it. Doug Brown, Jamie McCown as Adam Oates was on Brown. 2 forecheckers in deep, Bellows included. And it works. They hold it in. Shot deflected by Bellows into the corner. Fedorov able to clear it out of the zone. Now that forechecking job of the Capitals has created a couple of pin-ins and a couple of opportunities for them. They have to go back in their own end on this one. Larry Murphy stepped up. Murphy got it down low for Draper. Draper could not handle either. Comes back and finds it. Back on top to Murphy. Shot by Murphy. Just wide. Rebound. Kolzig tried, but had it blocked. Bellows blocked his shot. Kolzig got a little net to shoot at, but it never got through. Bellows clears it the length of the ice. Rolls in on Osgood. He sees a line change. Gets it up to Draper. Draper moving. He'll take the blue line chance and broke his stick. Scotty Bowman is going to buy a stick company. Gonchar behind his own net. Scotty's going crazy. How many sticks have been broken with his players taking shots? Maltby on the near side leaves it back for Tisov over to Kosa.
Kozlov has already broken 1 in this game, and now with Draper, so there's 2 already.
Yep, they've already lost 2. Scotty's going to the stick building, skate building business.
Yeah, and it's not the cost of the stick, it's the fact that you lose your shot. I mean, you lose your scoring opportunity. I mean, the sticks in some of these shafts cost $70 and $80 and $100 for some of these shafts.
You only get 25 shots, can't get them up. Joey Kosa along the ice. Good save made. Kolzig kicked it away. Cleared up and behind the play up and over the glass. 12:19 to go here in the first period. Delighted to have you with us. Game one won by Joey Kocur against the Capitals. Kocur had the big early goal. That kind of stuff's going to continue.
How long does it take to turn the new Dodge Durango from the sport utility with the most passenger room in its class into the one with the most cargo room? Not long enough. Durango, new ground for the new Dodge.
Scotty Bowman, who has now won 191 playoff games, is the leading playoff winning coach for 5 different National Hockey League franchises.
That is amazing. Unbelievable. And it is so hard for Ron Wilson on the other bench to match up against him because Scotty Bowman is the doctor of change. He'll come at you with a different line combination from not only one game to the other, one shift to the other. He said in game 1 he did it too much, didn't think he had a good game.
Shot by Lidstrom was blocked into the corner. Fedorov who won the faceoff. Fedorov hit at 24 and the draws in the front. They score! Sergei Fedorov set that up. Steve Yzerman got there.
Well, the lead that has been so precious to the Detroit Red Wings. They have been such a dynamite team with the lead. Now have what they wanted. And the Capitals don't have what they wanted because they also wanted the lead. It started with a win face-off, win into the corner. Who was first there? Detroit Red Wing player Sergei Fedorov. Steve Yzerman then got to the net ahead of his check. I think Olaf Kolzig was playing this to go behind the net. Take it back, it wasn't Fedorov that went to the corner, it was Holmstrom.
Tomas Holmstrom dumped over into the corner. And team scoring first 68% of the time, all time, come away with a win in a game where they score first in the Stanley Cup Finals. Steve Yzerman got the goal. Back into the middle, Tomas Holmstrom dropped it off. Murphy coming. Murphy's wanted to take the shot. Crisscrosses into the corner. Tried to dump it out in front. Darren McCarty doing battle. McCarty battled, couldn't get the puck. Down on the ice, Zednik. They get it down low. Fake shot. Kozlov's shot was blocked into the corner. Kelly Johansson went over to get it. Johansson will move it out. 11:28 left to go. Here's Redliner. Knocked down by Osgood. Announcement on the goal for Steve Yzerman. Kozlov gets it back. Kozlov leaves it in the middle. Fedorov moving in. Fedorov leaves it 3-on-3. Kozlov open shot. Ripped it wide. Detroit's finding that high slot, and it's open. Brown held it in. Fedorov behind the net. Fedorov, Kozlov. Kozlov looking out in front. Backhand shot. Kolzig the save. Rebound loose. The Brown. Once, twice, coming up. Great chances for this line.
And Jim Schoenfeld of the Phoenix Coyotes in the series that Detroit played against Phoenix called this the 10 minutes of fury that you have to go through. The Detroit Red Wings have picked up the scent because they have scored first and now they are coming. They have made a habit about getting on the border. They're going back to Philadelphia in the finals. Last year, they scored on their 4th shot in game 1, then their 2nd shot in game 2, 4th shot, 9th shot in game 4. Game 1 on their 6th shot, tonight on their 5th shot. They've gotten a goal in their last 6 final games, at least in their first 10 shots. And that has been one of their keys to success. Their puck control on this play coming up ice was amazing. They finally got the puck in low. Kozlov out to Fedorov. They're on the charge right now.
The goal coming at 7:49. Face-off one back to Kelly Johansson by Asa Tikkanen. Cleared out of the zone. They wave off the ice. Yzerman gets his first of this series, 5th of the playoffs, and the 51st of his career as Holmstrom and Lidstrom picked up the assists on that goal. Shanahan blasted that one wide. Fetisov back on the far side. Shanahan giving chase. Jeff Brown over to get it. Brown getting back in action in that last game, game one of the finals, his first game of the playoffs because of an injury. Third back out through center. Lapointe was giving chase. Anders Eriksson. Fetisov sends it back to it. Shots are suddenly 7-6 in favor of the Detroit Red Wings. Red Wings changing up on the fly. The backhand pass Tikkanen had nobody there. Moved back in by Maltby. Maltby around Tikkanen. Trying to get the shot off as he reached ahead. Never going to touch on it. Third back up to the Blues. Sergei Fedorov held it in momentarily. Rolled back to center. Jamie McCown. Red Wings right now have Big Mo on their side. Tip back into the middle. Maltby trying to 9-iron that one in. Couldn't. Brian Bellows clears it out. Back into the zone. Rouse. Red Wings love puck control. Get the pass into center. Make another pass into the zone. Make another pass in order to set up a scoring chance. What that means is you get a chance and the other team's chasing you around the ice.
Think you need a little skill to do that?
Yeah.
And that is the key. They're a puck possession team. Why? Not just because they want to be, but because they can be because of their skill level.
Back in behind the net, Kozlov. A lot of ice time for Kozlov early. Fedorov out there with him. Fedorov in the middle. Back over to Kozlov. Couldn't handle. It'll be played by Kolzig, and he bounced it right in front. Brown, the shot. Saved by Kolzig. Misplayed by Kolzig, and Doug Brown trying to run it home. Kolzig made the save. Back into the zone. Bondra came, launched it. Fedorov picks it up. They got a chance for a 3-on-2 the other way. 4-on-3. Fedorov trying to drop it into the middle. Third back up. Fedorov couldn't hold it in. Sergei Fedorov on the boards. Bellows was on his back. Back through the middle. Detroit changing it up again. Doug Brown will send it in. Kolzig knocked it away. Gonchar. Gonchar out of the zone. Washington was changing. Icing call coming up if it crosses the red. It does. They wave it off. Far side, Kosar. Kosar, Draper, and Maltby on the check line here for the Detroit Red Wings. Expand on. Here comes Draper. Draper shot. Missed it. Went for the shot side. Just missed that post. Along the near side boards, Kosar holds it in. Kosar trying to dangle along the blue, lost control. Berube brought it back out. Wide on Osgood. He'll get a stick on it. Leave it behind the net. Slava Fetisov to Maltby. Maltby. He'll do the high flip up and out of the zone. 8-6 the shots in favor of Detroit. Yzerman the only goal so far. Red Wings 10-1 when they score first this playoff year. Intercepted. McCarty. Save Kolzig. McCarty banged it wide. Washington better regroup in a hurry. Cleared back out to center again. Right now, Detroit's running around him. Lidstrom behind the net. Again through the middle. Tomas Holmstrom. The house here at the Joe recognizing this effort by the Wings so far. Nikolasian dug it out. McCarty cleared it wide side.
And this is when teams very often get frustrated, and the Caps should be frustrated, end up taking a penalty. They've got to be disciplined and get their heads together here.
7:40 to go here in the period. Very few whistles. Wide open play. Along the blue, Tomas Holmstrom will get an assist on that goal to Yzerman. Yzerman with McCarty on the right. Poke checked away from behind into the corner. Tenorti up on the far side. Zednik, the rookie, got it to Bondra. Bondra moving in. Holmstrom got a piece of that one. Detroit changing up. Larionov had just come out on the ice. He'll wait for his teammates to get out there with him. The flip into the middle intended for Larionov, and he's got it again. Larionov looking. Martin Lapointe in the middle. Block. Bang by Brendan Shanahan. If you were cutting a redwood tree, that's how high you'd need to get the axe. Shanahan, the tip, Kolzig the save. Washington touched that, so the play was allowed to go on. We'll get a whistle, and the crowd's up at the Joe.
And they should be. What a display by the Detroit Red Wings. Puck possession team, absolutely. When they don't have the puck, they have the speed to be opportunists. Slava Kozlov just about got one banked off his pads by Kolzig by him. Boy, the Red Wings are doing everything right now.
How far can you go on a tank of Mobile Super Plus? How about San Francisco, or New York, or any of the over 170 destinations that American Airlines flies to nationwide? Now every time you fill up with Mobile Super Plus, you'll get a sticker, collect 5, and earn a $50 savings certificate good toward the purchase of a round-trip ticket. So fill up with Mobile Super Plus. Play, take wing, and take off.
I believe I can fly.
Look at these sales figures. That's a lot of satisfied customers.
Because we're giving them what they want. Free scheduled maintenance for 2 years or 24,000 miles and a free loaner car. And this month only, all Explorers are just $99 over invoice. We're the only Ford dealer offering free scheduled maintenance and a free loaner car.
And the best selection of Ford cars and trucks at the lowest prices.
Only at World of Ford.
Yzerman World of Ford, just 1 mile south of the Beltway on Route 1 in Alexandria.
We'll call this Lucky 7. Detroit putt possession. Count them up. 1 pass from Osgood to Roush. Number 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 passes so far. 6, 7 to a scoring opportunity that just went wide. If the Red Wings can bring it up with 7 passes, they will get lucky.
How do you slow him down? Joe Ricci had to hold him. First penalty of the game, 13:05.
Happens so often. A team gets running, and all you can do is drag them down.
That was Martin Lapointe who took that shot off the draw. First power play of the game, and the Red Wings have it. Neither team converted on a power play in the first game. Washington 0 for 3. Washington 0 for 4. Detroit was 0 for 3. Detroit has not scored on their last 9 power play chances. Brought back in by Kolzig. Sent it off for Fedorov. Had it blocked. Picked up by Lidstrom. Lidstrom and Murphy along the blue here. Lidstrom trying to move it in. Lidstrom leading all defensemen in scoring. Fedorov high slot again. Shot! Kolzig got to take that one off the body, up and out.
Fedorov had the right idea. There really is no room down low. When Kolzig goes down, and he goes down so square, he is best on the shots from 15 feet and out. If you can get Olaf Kolzig scrambling, agility isn't his strong point, but when he gets a chance to set like this, he is huge. Fedorov did the right thing by trying to go high, and even on that one, I mean, he hit him in the shoulder. You can hardly get it over Kolzig's shoulder because he is so tall, and I don't even think there was any room above the shoulder. That would have gone over the net had he cleared the shoulder.
Sergei Fedorov, a goal and 3 assists over the last 9 games. You see the Red Wings 10-1. Shot. That one deflected wide. Kolzig reaching out on the shot from the point. Fedorov again gunned it in. Larry Murphy back on that far side. Power play for the Detroit Red Wings. Martin Lapointe, a big hit. Knocked out of the zone. Short-handed opportunity. Up ice, Todd Krieger. Couldn't get there first. Kozlov got it. Hesitating was on him, and Detroit will have to chase down with 1:05 left on their power play. Red Wings, you see 0 for 8 in the last 2 games, and overall 0 for their last 9 on the power play. Washington has killed off the last 21 power play opportunities in the playoffs. So teams have not scored against them in the last 21. Larionov from Shanahan on a great pass. Yzerman, his shot blocked out deep and cleared out of the zone. Krieger. Todd Krieger back after missing 3 with that groin injury has been effective here in the first period. Lidstrom trying to pick this one up and run it in. Can't do so. Kelly Johansson over to get it. He'll wait and then send it up. That hit Larionov, who didn't like it very much, and said so. Played by Larionov on the near side. This is a packed house, and I still heard what he said when he hauled it. But I can't tell you, it'd have to kill you. Picked back up by Yzerman. Sends it over to Larionov. Larionov top of the circle. Wide side Fetisov. Slava Fetisov trying to go back up on top to the point. Got caught along the boards. 12 left on the power play. Short-handed. Washington Bondra back in the middle behind him. Larionov will give chase. Wherever Bondra goes, whatever Detroit player is closest to him puts the extra shot on. Yzerman. That one blocked into the corner. Played up the far side. Power play is now over. Detroit 0 for 1 on the advantage. But Yzerman with his 5-on-5 goal has given him a 1-0 lead. Bondra's chance there. Osgood on a waffle ball knocked that one down. There's a penalty coming up right there. Looks like a hook. After the shot was taken, that's the kind of frustration that Washington has got to be able to deal with.
Announcing the new Miller Lite Scratch and Sniff Fantasy Sweepstakes. If you can smell it, you can win it.
It smells like beef.
Smell beef and win 400 pounds of red meat.
You tiresome fool, it's obviously suntan oil.
Smell suntan oil and you win the grand prize. Be an extra on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit shoot.
Hi, Jimmy.
Score! Tell me about it.
See special displays for details.
Mark, if you're at the airport before my 8 o'clock flight, maybe we can talk. Otherwise, it's over.
Ah! Come on. Come on. Oh, start. Oh, no. That's battery.
No matter what my customers drive, they depend on AC Delco batteries. They last up to 30% longer.
I'm sure they do. Just give me the generic equivalent, okay?
AC Delco. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
Well, there's the man that's got about as much strength as most of the guys in the NFL, even the big guys. Talk about leg drive. Watch his face-off. Won it back and then wanted to get to the net. And Marty Lapointe had Yzerman to go through. Yzerman was just a blocking dummy for him here. Marty Lapointe, when he wants to get someplace, you're not going to stop him. and with one hand, a swat to the back of the shoulder of Mark Tenorti, and he folded. That's how strong the point is.
Washington playing it dangerously here in this first period. Peter Bondra, frustrated from the hits against him, took a hit and then hooked, and that's what he got called for at 15-22.
Well, he tried to take the shot. Jamie McCowan, like all of the Detroit defensemen, they get their sticks on so many shots. That was an easy one to stop for Chris Osgood. And then Peter Bondra hooked him at the wrong time. We talk a lot about when you put the stick on somebody. When a player like Jamie McCowan is on the turn, it only takes a little tug to drag him down, but it looks really bad. You got to lay off then.
So it's the second power play of the game, virtually in succession here for the Detroit Red Wings. They've got the 1-0 lead on Yzerman's goal already. Lidstrom takes it back in behind the net. Nicholas Lidstrom, who's got 6 goals, 12 assists in the playoffs, working a point. Kozlov in, down the middle. Kozlov still has it. Fedorov tried to jam it away, couldn't do it. Played up and out of the zone. Kelly Johansson got it out of there. Oates helped him along the blue. Detroit's got to get back on side into the zone. Larry Murphy with Oates on it. Kozlov picks that one up. The Capitals, a dangerous team, shorthanded during the regular season. They had 14 shorthanded goals, the most of any NHL team. This is Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Take a look ahead at the schedule. The Red Wings and Capitals will move to Washington Saturday, right here on ESPN, as our quest for the Cup will begin at 7:30. Then on Tuesday, we'll be in Washington for Game 4. If there is a Game 5 necessary, Fox will have that for you next Thursday. Upcoming schedule of the Stanley Cup Finals.
There's Mr. Utility for the Caps, but Ron Wilson doesn't know what direction to point Tikkanen in, because where is the big Detroit weapon? It hasn't defined itself. They are all tremendous players. So Tikkanen is being asked in this game to provide more offense. If the top 2 lines don't get it done, he's going to move up and play with them.
Lidstrom shot, deflected Darren McCarty. Holmstrom was set up in front. Murphy back for Holmstrom. Holmstrom, McCarty at Yzerman. McCarty shot, blocked. Good play, gone shot. Tipped into the corner by Yzerman. Lidstrom stepped up to hold it in. Did once, did twice. Good play by Lidstrom. Forces Gonchar back in, but he finds room and sends it down the boards. Osgood out to get it. 11-7 the shots in favor of Detroit. 1-0 lead on Yzerman's goal. They've got a power play for 50 more seconds. McCarty banged his way through. The collision cut him off enough so the puck rolled ahead. Murphy holds it in again. Lidstrom near side. Lidstrom. Washington coming right out, challenging the puck. Holmstrom in the corner, tied up by Ricky. That freed it up, but not long enough to move it as Kozlov came in. Looking to get it back to Lidstrom. Partially blocked, that deflected back. Short-handed chance again the other way. Collision coming down the middle. Poke checked away. Murphy again. Cleared up by Yzerman out. They were changing. Holmstrom's in the middle. Martin Lapointe open. Lapointe shot. Blocked out deep. Good body work by Tenorti, and he paid for it as he limps over to the bench. Mark Tenorti felt that one. Larionov taking advantage of the line change, but he didn't have anybody with him. 10 left on the power play for Detroit. Cleared out. Length of the ice. Oh, that's good. Wow.
Those are the only ones that Chris Osgood has trouble with. Those ones from 4,000 miles away.
The other end of the ice. That came from Dearborn.
And it bounced too, but you know, in Chris Osgood's defense, but still there's a lot of them are stoppable, the ones that have gone by him, but even that one bounced on him.
He's had 4 of those long shots from center that have gone in against him. And that one came all the way from the other red line. Power play is over. Shanahan, wrister. Good save, and it was drawn back into the pads by Olaf Kolzig. 1-0, Red Wings on top, 2:12 to go here in the first period. Our New Dodge intermission report upcoming. Barry's breakdown on hand here. Barry, Darren, the whole crew, they'll be joining you here. 2:12 playing time left before we get to our New Dodge intermission.
Just another adventure for Chris Osgood. And he doesn't have nightmares about them. He just forgets about them. And it was Adam Oates that let a rip all the way just about from his corner. See, it took a bounce and hopped. And Chris Osgood, almost, it looked like he didn't have his left pad really tight behind his glove. It hit the side of his glove and just about got by it.
Darren Pang, former netminder. How about that?
Well, it's interesting, guys, that Chris was talking a lot about what happened with the Jamie Langenbrunner shot. And he went the next day and worked awfully hard in practice and continued to do so after that.
You got to practice long shots when you have 4 go in 1 year, I guess. Doug Brown looking, sends it in. And only the goalie's got it, Darren.
You know, Olaf Kolzig and Chris Osgood both played against each other in junior hockey, fellas. Tri-Cities, of course, for Olaf Kolzig. 1 game against Chris Osgood's hockey club, and they only played a couple of games against one another. But this morning, Olaf said, I wonder if Chris Osgood remembers that he's not the only guy that's given up long goals. Olaf Kolzig gave up one from center ice. Dan Kordich's first and only goal for the year against Chris Osgood. So these guys go back a long way. The goalie coach of last year, Chris Pryor, for Chris Osgood. This year, Chris Pryor's in Washington working with Olaf Kolzig.
Goes around, comes around. Face off to the right side, left side of Kolzig. He'll look back to the point here.
There's probably not a goalie that hasn't let in a long one, but you don't want to let him in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's all.
Because you will be remembered. Kelly Johansson picks that one up. Washington trying to generate some chances again here now. They started out with the advantage in shots, but right now it's 13-8 favor of Detroit, and they've got the 1-0 lead on Yzerman's goal. Jamie McCown up for Kosa, didn't get by. Washington putting the check game on here. Draper moves in, kicked around the boards. Don Kowarski saying move the puck, so Jamie McCown came in and dug it out. Good work by McCown on the help. Near side, McCown again trying to get it out of the zone. Finally taken away from Hunter. Draper at center. Draper goes wide side. Kelly Johansson rolled under his stick. Johansson, both teams changing up, so he rags it back. 1:15 left to go here in the first period. Larry Murphy right back out there. Nice time in that first game. Larry Murphy out there more than any other Detroit player. Gonchar, defenseman for Washington, held that distinction in minutes played for the Caps in game 1. 1 minute left to go. That's Gonchar, put it over the wide side, picked up by Murphy again. Over McCarty's head, Gonchar knocked it down. Gonchar heading on the left wing side. They did not get it in clean. Bondra down the middle, poke check by Lidstrom. Good play, Nicholas Lidstrom. Here comes Fedorov. Sergei Fedorov off wing side. Saved by Kolzig. Zednik on the far side. Trying to clear it out. Dives. 36 seconds left to go. Sent in by Yzerman. Round the far side, Larionov. Larionov took the hit over there from Richard Zednik. Back into the middle. Back on side. Martin Lapointe. Poked it ahead. Lapointe. Nobody with him. Had it stolen by Peter Bondra. 19 seconds left to go in the period. And off Shanahan and up and into the seats.
You know, when you play against the Detroit Red Wings, yes, you have to play hard, but even more than that, and all of the Capitals players I spoke to this morning agreed, you got to play smart. You have to get the puck deep on them. They always have 3 people back. And if you come to center ice without having made your decision to get it in deep and you're still looking for a pass, your dump in and your chip in, which Ron Wilson wants, becomes Plan B. Plan B usually isn't accompanied by any speed. Plan A has the speed. Adam Oates talked about it. Peter Bondra talked about it. And the Washington Capitals still have not been able to establish getting the puck to center, getting it deep, and getting a forecheck going. They desperately want a forecheck in this game.
Down to 14 seconds left to go here. Yzerman's goal at 7:49, his 5th of the playoffs from Holmstrom and Lidstrom. Lidstrom now has 19 points this playoff year. That is a new point record for a Detroit defenseman in a playoff season. Shanahan back to get it. A lot of happy fans, but no one happier than the man who got his name on the cup last year, the Gladiator. Vladimir Konstantinov sitting on the right here to watch his teammates injured in that tragic automobile accident. They're showing his picture right now at center ice. The fans up and applauding. The masseur next to him waving. Also injured in that accident. Vladdy's wife Irina with him. Another standing O from the Detroit crowd. They've been up a couple of times because Steve Yzerman, the leading point man in the playoffs this year, came away with the only goal in the first period, and he got it with a work in the corner at Tomas Holmstrom, who centered it out in front. Yzerman found the loose puck right on the post. 1-0 Wings.